There's several different types of curators. Yes, you would have to be very versatile, almost kind of like a CEO level. Come on, Osveanne, you can draw this. Your dad's an artist. I'm like, it's not hereditary. I can't. Hi, I'm Osveanne Osman. I'm the General Manager and Curator of Creative Space Art Gallery and Studio. I love art. I love spaghetti. I'm very eclectic.
You know, like side view, right? I thought this was a person.
I'm going to continue to think that throughout.
It's like, who's behind me?
I would like to know, before we get into it, what it means to be an art curator. Because I think there are a lot of people out there who want to get into the creative industry, but don't quite know what the options are. And one option within this space is, of course, to be a manager of a gallery, which is creative space, which is what you are, as well as a curator. Can you explain briefly what it means to be a curator?
Okay, so the briefest way that I can actually put it, but first of all, let me just say it's a pleasure that we're here sitting down and also getting to know one another outside kind of the box of working on projects together. But back to the subject matter is that there's several different types of curators. Even I myself, I'm still learning the ropes around those. So I would say one type of curator that you have, which is mainly how I function in creative space, is I am a curator that you do crowdfunding or any type of funding for your gallery or your projects. And then you also manage your project and you catalog it, and you also want to be writing articles about it. So a curator does all of that. Basically, they're like a mini manager for a certain project or a certain type of genre of art, perhaps. And so that's a very versatile kind of curator, I would say. The more commercial as well, in a sense, I would say. And then we have the other type of curator, which is really specialized. And this is something that I myself want to get into as well, which is, for example, if you go to a museum and they have like history of Oriental art from Japan or from India, and you just have one curator for that show. So it's very specialized, and that's another type of curator that you have. So right now, my greatest understanding for curators is between those two. So I mix it up a little bit for what I do for creative space.
Does that mean that you need to have a great understanding about a variety of genres?
I would definitely say yes. If you're doing curating like on an art management level, yes, you would have to be very versatile, almost kind of like a CEO level, quite intimidating, but I mean, when you're starting off, you learn the ropes that way. However, if you're doing something specialized, then it would be different. So one of the projects that I work on as a curator in creative space is the Emerge project. So Emerge focuses on local artists and local art and creating that platform for them to be able to showcase their works. So that's how we're looking at it becoming very specialized, that you focus on a sole kind of context or subject matter even. So that's, the flip side of it again. Being very versatile, which is very good for being commercial and for management, and then a more specialized and artistic point of view would be when you specialize in the curating of a certain genre or a certain topic.
So when it comes to a day in the life of a curator, what does that look like for you?
For me, it's definitely very colorful. because in Brunei it's very different from the rest of the world, definitely. In the rest of the world, I'm not so sure how it happens as well. I've had a little bit of experience, and it does involve a lot of research. Not that I don't enjoy it, but sometimes you want to get out there. And a day in the life for me, our gallery opens at 10, and sometimes we tend to open a little bit earlier so that we can have team alignment with whoever's on board at the moment. It's very important that the team who's working with me will feel the same passion for working at Creative Space, working with art for art. The day usually starts like that, just kind of like everybody good vibes. So that's ideally how we start off the day. And then, we just get cracking into what really needs to be done. And there's definitely, in my space, there's a lot of laughter and shenanigans and people bouncing off the walls with power tools. We are HSC compliant, don't worry.
Really? Sure. I've seen your Instagram stories.
We do our best. It varies from day to day depending on what we've got on. So maybe it's better for me to give context. For example, we're having an exhibition soon. So tomorrow what's going to happen is I'm getting a new intern in, so the whole briefing happens. I know, I'm always happy when we have new people in. What's going to happen tomorrow morning is she's going to get her briefing, and then we're going to be shifting over to the rest of the team where, I can introduce her, gauge the synergy, and create some team building. And after that, it sounds like we do a lot of talking. We do a lot of talking. We enjoy that. And we basically will then have a meeting about our up and coming exhibition, which is Pause and Rewind.
It's back?
Yes, we're doing the second installation.
So it does sound like there's a lot of back-end preparation work, management work. So I know you are an artist yourself as well. Is there a big difference between two roles? And if so, is there one role that you prefer over the other? Yeah.
I would say there is a very, very vast difference. At the moment, what I would call myself individually, I would call myself an artist curator. So an artist curator is basically essentially you start off as an artist and then you end up becoming a curator because you want to be able to provide the platform for not just yourself but other people who share the same interests to showcase their work. As an artist versus curator, it can be similar because the art is what bridges it. But it's very different in the sense of what you produce. So for me personally, I really enjoy both. Of course, how it started out was that I wanted to be like a full-fledged artist first. But at the time when I graduated and I came back, there weren't any galleries to represent me, for me to be able to really just get involved in my practice. So that's how I ended up becoming an artist curator, because I wanted to have that space and I knew that other people needed it as well.
So you mentioned something about coming back from overseas. How long ago was that and where were you then?
So I studied in Brisbane at the Queensland University of Technology, and I did a Bachelor of Creative Industries and majored in visual arts and minored in animation. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Do you still do any animation?
Every now and then, I do love it. I still have a lot of storyboards that I look at and I go, I should really pick that up off the shelf again. And I graduated in 2012, around July, and I came straight back into Brunei.
And when you came back, Creative Space at the time was not established yet?
No, it wasn't established. It was established, officially established with license the next year.
Talking about the gallery a little bit and your background as well, how involved was your dad in your career in general?
That's a very interesting question. Hello. Here he is. Yeah, it's okay. That's my dad. Yeah, so my dad has been a very big influence actually in my career in art. Not that he wanted me to go into it per se. In fact, growing up, I was first in a pure science stream. I loved chemistry and biology, my favorite. I was also a history, geography geek. And then, numbers started combining with alphabets, and then there was physics, and I was like, what's going on? And so I was like, okay, let me try social sciences. Okay. So I tried social sciences, and I was like, this still is a lot of reading. I have to remember so many case studies. Yeah. And then I decided, I'll try art, fine arts. Fine arts, I think I can wing this.
So before that, you weren't into arts at all?
I kind of actually stayed away from it because when I was in school, people, mainly the teachers used to always be like, come on, Osveanne, you can draw this. Your dad's an artist. I'm like, it's not hereditary. I can't. Don't. Yeah. So it played out like that. So I kind of avoided it in a sense. And then it came round full circle when one day I saw my dad. He was just doing, a painting. And he started with a blank piece of paper. And I was watching him the whole time. And by the end of it, I was like, how did all of that appear there? It's magic. So that's sort of like where the inspiration really came from. I mean, it sounds like I just kind of like, I just will do fine arts because I don't want to study so hard. But there was an element of inspiration behind it as well.
In your day-to-day life, how much do you get to work with your dad?
So pretty much every day. Yeah. I'll wake up and be like, hi Dad, this is what I'm doing today. I have this meeting scheduled. I'll be here, I'll be there. Also, I need you to please sign this document, and what do you want for breakfast? I don't really have the words to explain what it's like because it's something that's very natural. If anything, it would sort of be like a very free mentorship right. In a sense. Yeah, because it's just natural. It's not something I ever tried to compartmentalize or dissect or think too much about. Yeah. Because it was just something that me and my dad connected on, and we wanted it to happen.
That's so nice. I think it's that kind of relationship is quite rare to find as well, especially when it's within the immediate family. So I'm really glad that you did find that within.
Yeah.
As he walks by. I like to get to know Osveanne outside of the gallery. So if you guys aren't following her already, would you like more followers? Just kidding. But if you...
I have interesting stories.
She does. I really personally enjoy her stories because she posts about basically anything and everything. So from what I see, I know that you like plants.
Yeah.
And I know that you have a really cute cat. Tell me more about that.
So starting from there is, yes, I'm obsessed with plants. An interesting fact is that I started out in corporate first, and then I decided to take a break. So it was about 1 year actually. I took a 1 year break after I was in corporate. And at that time I was, thinking, what am I going to do next? The gallery was already on my mind. Right. And I need to save for this. So it's like, how do I do that? And then I just decided I need to feed myself. Right. I need to feed myself. So I started growing a garden.
Have you or do you see yet the impact that you've been making in the creative industry in general?
For 2 years straight, we have been consistent with churning out exhibitions and having consistency and reliability for the artists to be able to showcase their artworks with us. Yeah. So in that regard, I feel that Creative Space is really making an impact for the creative industries.
Yeah, right. I think what I see as well is that there needs to be more knowledge transfer and knowledge sharing. There's been a lot of showcases and exhibitions, but not enough, like you
Yeah.
said, actual knowledge transfer and passing it on to the next generation. I think there's something very valuable as well in what you guys do. I think starting with your dad as well, being so resilient in staying in the arts industry, the creative industry, despite how difficult it is at the moment anyway to grow. But I do hope that you continue to do what you do and continue to be the inspiration that you are. I don't say that lightly. I honestly, truly think that you guys do amazing work and it's so valuable. So.
The one piece that really affected me the most was Starry Night by Van Gogh, when I had finally seen it in person last year at MoMA.